All right, we're live on another Tuesday night Real Talk. We're down a soldier today. I'm not sure if Rob's coming by or not tonight, but tonight I'm going to go 20, 25 minutes on this mindset, redesigning your mind. I've got 3 great points for you tonight. So I'm going to start off by just introducing myself. My name is Justin Messina. As you can see below, my website is justin-messina.com. I'm a health and lifestyle coach. I like to empower people to live out their dream lifestyle and steps to create it. And obviously, a lot of that comes back to your mindset and how you set yourself up in a way where you can move forward, mastering the inner game of your insides, of how you think, what is your vision, all these types of concepts that we talk about each and every Tuesday. And before I get right into the 3 topics, I want to just talk a little bit about the Vision Fit movement. It's a movement Rob and I have started that is around aspiring and heart-led entrepreneurs and empowering people to craft their own message, craft their story, and start to put the pieces in place to move their business forward. And definitely for people just starting, also for people who are looking to take it to a full-time level where they can live that life and quit their job if that's their goal. And the Vision Fit movement, it's really was created on the basis of it's not around a company or a product per se. It's around your own brand. It's around finding out what is that special something within you that can bring you to greatness and not hold you back. If you have some sort of affiliation with a person, like living out someone else's dreams, for instance, or living out the dreams of another company. So a lot of times we're influenced by all these systems. So with Vision Fit, what we want to do is we want to embrace everybody for where they're at, for who they are, and for what they ultimately can become great at if they focus in on what are their core talents, what are their core desires, and really the other really main element of it is creating a lifestyle of freedom and just having the freedom to just run your business the way you want, have your life be an extension of your business or vice versa, and have it be just really a wealth of a great life experience and just not taking for granted the one life that we have. So to get off my soapbox a little bit, I was contacted by Rob. I think he's going to be by in a few minutes. We'll see. We might have to move these things back to 8:30 going forward, but I'm going to get right into the 3 points. Number 1 point is around your thoughts. So I want to focus on where your thoughts come from, so how to look at where they come from, and then also looking at how to get rid of negative thoughts, right? So we can start to look at our thoughts a little more. And then the second point, we want to look at our language. What do we actually speak out to the world? And is that even important, what words we use? Is that an important element of our mindset and designing our mind in the way we want to move forward towards whatever success means to us, right? And the third point is going to be piggybacking on the first 2, which is how to filter your mind so that you start to weed out the bad and go in more with the good. And the filtering is going to be focused a little bit more around the self-talk. Basically that devil. There's like the devil on your shoulder telling you that you're terrible. You can't hack it. We're going to talk about that whole process and what to do about it. So, with that said, I'm going to go right into thoughts now. And if you're just joining us, Rob is a little late, so I'm just getting right into the 3 points just now. So for thoughts, okay, so where your thoughts come from? Your thoughts come from three points I want to focus on within this is your zone of influence, which we did a great hangout on zone of influence that you should definitely check out on my YouTube channel. So it's the people you're around, it's the environmental factors that are creating your thoughts, right? Because the more you're exposed to things around you, that's going to start creating thoughts. So if you're playing video games a few hours every day, if you're playing the same game and you're hooked on it, you're going to start to think about it when you're not doing it. You're going to start to dream about that thing if you're doing it enough, and it's going to become part of what you're feeling, what your reality is. And there's even things on dream therapy, or dream analysis, I should say. And dream analysis goes into, if I have a certain dream, what does that really mean? And what happens a lot of times there is your subconscious is in a reality, or your subconscious has its own thought about what you want, or what you're lacking, or what you're afraid of in your life, that you may not consciously be thinking, but you're going to start to dream about it, and it's going to mean something. It's going to try to tell you something. And conscious, subconscious, a little different, but basically the more we can think consciously about something, the more it can impact our subconscious, and there's all kinds of methods for that as well. I don't want to get too deep into that, but basically, the more we can surround ourselves with what we want in the people we surround ourselves with the physical environment, like where we live, the places we go, the music we listen to, the TV we watch, the training or the personal development we look at. The more you can control every aspect of your life, the better off you're going to be. If you're serious about going towards a certain place, whether it's your idea of success, or wherever you're trying to get to. And all right, so the second point within this is what you repeatedly do. I kind of just went over that. It's obviously the more and more you do something, the more and more your thoughts are going to be defined by those things that in your activities and your hobbies, what you do every day. And the last thing I want to just touch on, which I'll come back to in the third point here, but I want to talk about Inception. And Inception is really about, you hear the movie and everything, you're putting a thought inside someone's head in the case of the movie. But Inception, you can do it yourself. You can create a thought into your head, because we can't completely control our thoughts, but what we can do is we can start to put thoughts into our head. Like, we can write something down on a piece of paper, and a great activity is to whatever you want to focus on, have it written down, because it's hard to focus on something that's just like an idea or a thought that you've thought about once, and you need to try to keep that. But if you can write it down and you could stick to that, you could see it every day. You could put it in a place where it's very visible. And this is why affirmations and incantations, if you've ever heard of these things, that's why they work. When you repeatedly say a phrase, it's because you're putting it into your head over and over again. And we're going to get into language too, as far as why incantations and things along those lines. Speaking something out loud is also powerful. Just going to look over some things I had down. Yeah, so with Inception, you're not just thinking about what you want, and maybe even imagination is really a great thing to do. If you could just go for a walk someday, or just sit down in a chair, or lie down and just imagine for 10-20 minutes every day, you could start to put new thoughts into your head, and new thoughts starts to move the process along of being creator. Because when you create something in your world, it really starts with your thought. It starts with a thought. It starts with the focus of that thought, and just writing it down, focusing on the thought, and that's how it eventually can become created through planning. But to focus on that thought all the way through it to its creation is really how everything is created. Everything in the universe, regardless of your spiritual beliefs or whatnot, everything comes from thoughts. The Apple computer would have never been created if it weren't for a thought or a vision of it, of impacting the learning experience around the world through this new idea of a computer that you could put in a classroom, right? So now I want to move right into getting rid of negative thoughts, right? So obviously putting new positive thoughts into our minds through Inception, through our environment, through the people we're around, will automatically start to push negative thoughts aside, because you simply can't be thinking about a positive, negative thought at the same time. But you also can do things to get rid of the negative thoughts, and the best way to do this is through your environment is where negative thought will start to filter into your head. If you have an environment that's less than optimal, which nearly everybody does, right? Because you can't always control every aspect of it, but you can control it. You can control things more than you might initially think, might initially see, and the way you can control your environment, it's just like it's hard to cut loose from friends or very limit your exposure to family that are bad influences on you or aren't aligned with where you're going. And this is the sort of thing that if you're not, if you don't focus on this is where I'm going, I owe it to myself to live the best life that I want to live. It's my own life. It's my choice. If you're going to continue to be influenced by the people around you that are not going to support you, then it's like, well, I got to limit in the case of family, or maybe eliminate in the case of friends, my exposure to them completely, because what is it to me? Is it more important that I keep these friends, or is it more important that I live out the life I want to live and not get stuck in this place that I don't want to be in anymore, right? So when it comes down to it, it's like making a clean break for as a guy. It's like that hot girlfriend or hot ex-girlfriend that you want to get rid. You have to stay away from because you're just like, they're a bad influence. I got to stay away from them. It's gonna be hard to stay away from that bad, negative, people or ideas or influences, whatever the influence is. Sometimes it's really hard to stay away from it. But when it comes down to eliminating negative thoughts, you need to do a clean break. It needs to be completely cut out, 100%, because the high duration of the exposure that you've had already, if it's something in your daily life, a lot of times that you have to start to cut back on. A lot of times you can make a clean break from something, and it still takes months and months and months to cut that behavior out altogether. I think I've read about this. I've looked into this a little bit more. They said about 6 months. There's something I'm actually experimenting with right now with that I've completely cut out, haven't accessed, have completely not in my life anymore. It's something I don't want to have in my life, and it's been about 2.5 months, I would say, that I haven't actively been seeing anything from this influence. And it's not a person, but from this influence, and it still comes into my mind at certain points with no actual stimuli or stimulus around my environment to make me think of it. It just pops into my thoughts, right? So thoughts can be tricky because you can't completely control them, but you can do things to guide them in a very, very controlled way, and it's up to you, how serious you are about whether you're driving a certain positive thought or you're eliminating a negative thought. It's really up to you how serious you are about going the direction that is going to basically be the best for you as a individual, whatever we're talking about, whether this is life or this is a business habit or this is a relationship, So what's going to happen is I think Rob's going to get on in a few minutes. I said this one other time. And he couldn't really get on. But I'm going to just check in with him once right here. I'm going to take a break before I get into the second point. If I have to go ahead and move on with the next few points without him, then I will. And if he does end up coming on later, then we can kind of shuffle back and he can throw a little 2 cents on it. But I'm not going to take too much time because we're going to make this a quick one tonight. All right. It looks like he's around and he has what he needs to set up. So we'll just see if he can get on. But I'm going to just keep rolling with this. And the next point is all about language. So your language of what you speak out, is it even important? Is it important what you actually speak out? And this could be, I mentioned having affirmations or incantations, things that you can repeat to yourself, sayings that you can say to empower yourself. Does this work? Is this sort of like loony baloney kind of stuff, or is this powerful? And why is it powerful, right? So with language, here's some thoughts from different perspectives. So from the Bible, first off, and I'm gonna take you through a Bible approach, and I'm gonna take you through a science approach. Okay, so we have two different ideas that we can start to look at and start to think about. So from the Bible, basically, the Bible says in different words, different versions, life and death is through the power of the tongue or language, right? The tongue, what we speak. And as far as science, studies with neuroscience and similar fields has concluded that language has complete dominion over our perceptions of reality. Okay, so literally what we're speaking starts to change our perception of ourselves, of our environment, of our whole world. So with those two approaches being so similar, very different places as far as how to think logically or think based on something else, something faith-based in a way, both come to very, very similar conclusions. And what this whole thing about language is, we can't control our thoughts, but we can control our language. You can completely control language. We can control it. We can control what we release out of our mouth. So we could think whatever, but what we release out of our mouth is actually even more powerful than our thoughts. So, this is significant because, we could have a negative thought come to us. So Rob's distracting me for a second, but we could have a negative thought come to us, but are we going to release it out of our mouth? And when it comes down to it, there's two ways to go about this. And when, I'm going to talk mostly about negative thoughts here, but I'll actually just talk about positive thoughts, and then I'll just go through negative thoughts. But positive thought, just quick point, is you have a positive thought. You can obviously say it out loud when you get it, or you can obviously do the opposite, where you're the Inception piece, where you're taking a thought and you're putting it into your brain. You're consciously taking an idea or a saying, and you are saying it out loud, right? So you're thinking it first, and then you're saying it, but you're reinforcing the thought by saying it, right? So it's like you're accepting the thought when you say it. When you hear yourself say it, and it's your mood and your conviction behind how you're saying it, and you could do this like looking in the mirror, and you could say it in a very convicted way, like you could say, whatever you're saying, what is a good idea? Anthony Robbins thing. I don't think he came up with it, but he's kind of famous for this. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. I'm getting better and better. And to say it, whether you're exercising or you're doing something like engaging, you could be looking in the mirror, or you could be in your car, and you could be just like saying it with complete emotion, you're just so in the zone saying this, and you're feeling it, and your whole body, your physiology is all in line with this, whatever you're saying, right? So the more of I'm just talking about language here, but I'm kind of getting a little off track. But if you could the more you're into the thought and you accept it when it's good, then the more that you're going to get out of it, the more that it's going to stick, and the more often you do it, obviously, is the key point. So as far as negative thoughts, what you want to do is, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, by the way, because there's so many different ways you could go with this. This is very open-ended type of stuff, as we normally do. So with your language, you can have those negative thoughts that keep coming to you, and it's going to happen. If you're trying to break free from something, it's going to keep coming, and you can't just accept it and be like, oh man, I can't change. I can't get unstuck with this idea. But what you can do is, you talked about limiting exposure to thoughts, limiting exposure, changing your thoughts and getting rid of the negative thoughts. But ultimately, the negative thoughts are going to keep coming for a while. And what you can do is you can choose not to accept them, right? So, and through language, you can actually reject a thought when it comes to you by speaking out loud. And this might seem kind of silly. You could be like out in public saying this, like you just have a negative thought, like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this business thing. It's not going to work, or I'm not going to be able to break free from these friends I've had. I've had them all my life. If I just drop these friends, am I going to just never have friends again? What's going to happen? And I can't do it. If you can have a thought like that come to your head, right? But you don't have to say it out loud. And more than not saying it out loud, you can actually reject it. So you can have that thought, everything I just said, but then out loud you could say, I am going to change it. I am going to make new friends, and I'm going to make friends in the groups that I want to, I want to find them in the groups that I'm going to be best suited for, and the people that are going to support me, I'm going to support them. It's going to be a really dynamic environment, and you could say it in a way that's passionate and really, in essence, you're rejecting the opposite thought, right? Or you could literally say out loud, you could have a thought and you could just say, that's garbage, like that's bunk, that's no good. And that's another way to do it, whatever your style is. You can I've heard people use this and use profanity, and it works just as well. So Rob's joining us. I'm just gonna put Rob on mute for 1 second, just finish this one thought as he gets settled in there. So when it comes to rejecting that with your language, I don't know, did I wrap this up? I think I might have wrapped this point up. Yeah, that was pretty much it, actually. So I'm going to bring Rob in here. Rob, basically what we've done is we've gone through the first 2 points. I'm going to give you some time to I guess settle in, introduce yourself, and we might go maybe 10 more minutes or so. So Rob, I'd love to hear your thoughts and on language, and we'll get more into filtering. Go ahead, Rob. Nice to see you.
Nice seeing you. How's everyone doing? Well, started I'm a little late, but got some technology issues, so we're back up, ready to rock and roll. But we have some great point. I know Justin actually took it away and gave you guys some awesome tips and great information. So what I want to actually give you some pointers on is, how to direct your thoughts. Our thoughts are very powerful, and at times we don't realize that how powerful our thinking can be. If we think on a day-to-day basis that we're going to have a great day, the day will come out to be a great day. And if you think you're going to have a bad day, your day will come out to be a bad day. So you have to always just remember that your thoughts are very powerful and very can draw different attention to you into that circumstances. So just to hit on a few pointers there. As far as your definite purpose in starting point of to like your achievement, you have to somewhat look at your thinking process and said, okay, how, first of all, when you're going to get into whatever it is, whether it's trying to lose weight, whether it's trying to start a new business, whether it's trying to get into a new relationship, all those things come with a thought process behind it. So you have to think every single day on your actions and how you're going to approach those actions. Now, to begin, you have to somewhat have some form of adapt to your definite major purpose and your specific plan and what you're trying to achieve. Now, for instance, I use myself for example. When I rise every day, my thought process is, who am I going to help? Whose life am I going to make a difference in today? That's my thought process. First thing in the morning, I say my prayers, and I actually, thank God for waking up in the morning, and then I rise and I said, okay, it's time to have a great day. That means once I hit the road, automatically my thought process begin that I'm going to have a great day. So if someone asks you, how was your day? Or how are you doing? Some people says, oh, I'm just hanging in there. Now think about that speech there for a minute. When someone says, how are you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm hanging in there. That sounds like automatically you're not even sure if you're going to make it through the day, or you're going to make it through the week, or life is great, because automatically right then and there your thought process is just hanging in there. But if someone say to you, how are you doing? You said, I'm doing great, or I'm doing well. You're automatically drawing that attraction to your thought process for greatness. So those are some of the things, like when I get around folks and I will ask them and they wonder to yourself, how am I getting up every day and my day's just going so well, and they can't tell if I have a problem, because I don't let my problem and my thoughts of negativity brings me down. I always try to bring in a positive thought within my mind. That means it will bring me through the day, and it also will attract the right folks to you. Use Facebook, for example. Certain things goes on, and automatically you'll find someone starts writing things, typing things, sending out the negative messages right away, and thinking while they're doing that, it's attracting good things to them within their thought process, or it's attracting positivity to you. That's not going to happen. So you have to just put in your thought process right away that the negativity is going on, push it away, and automatically put positivity within your mind, and you would always attract positiveness to you. So that's just a couple of things, and you know, how to direct your thoughts. Back to you, Justin.
Yeah, Rob. Actually, you could just take it through, man. If you have some things to say about language, or we can just go right into the third point. But I've already gone through thoughts and language, and I
Okay.
got some points for filtering. So if you got anything on language, or else we'll move forward.
All right. Let me you know, I would like to kind of elaborate a little bit more on and thoughts, because I thought that's a pretty powerful piece. Language, we already know, as far as your language, you have to watch your speech. Watch what you say, watch what you know, how you portray your language, how you portray yourself, because body language is a big thing. You can look at a person's face and tell exactly how their day's going, or what's going on with them. You can tell from their smile. You can tell if they're smiling. You can tell from their attitude. So, you know, always watch your language. You know, I use an example. The other day I put a post up on Facebook because I saw a young lady was waiting for an interview. But I look at her body language, and she was, from what she was wearing, from what she had on, you could tell right then and there that the attitude towards the job was not there. Sunglasses on, waiting for the interviewer. I know I posted on Facebook and I asked a question if it's okay to wear a sunglasses to an interview. And, you know, I got different answers came in. People were saying depends and discriminate and all this stuff, whatever. It was just like, listen to it and just like saying to yourself, okay, great. But by looking at her, I knew it wasn't a problem, one, with her eyes, because you don't wear a spaghetti strap into an interview. That's another thing. And it just seemed like it was like a summer dress type thing. It was just kind of weird. But anyway, by looking at that, you can tell from body language, you can tell from the person's appearance that right then and there, that person just kind of came in for the job by just saying, okay, I'm just there. So body language has a lot to do with your appearance. Your speech has a lot to do with your appearance. We can't come on Facebook and talk in different type of things, negativity, and saying one thing here, or saying, you know, I'm just so sick and tired of people, or I'm just tired of this world is just going crazy, and expect people are going to attract it to what you're saying. Not at all. You may find the ones that running with you in that negativity attract to what you're saying, but again, that is not going to take you on a positive road to success. So if you have a negative language that you have within you to speak, do not put it out in the public. Call a friend, have a conversation, vent to that friend that can understand your venting, and call it a day, but do not put it out in the public. So that's just, you know, something I wanted to drop off there on language. But I have some couple of valid points here I wanted to actually go over as far as, you know, back to thoughts again. All right, so first of all, positive mental attitude. Always, 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 always. Got to have a positive mental attitude. And it takes care of your circumstances, no matter how it is. Because even if your circumstances is drawing in a negative way, you always have to just make sure you direct yourself into a positive mental state of mind to bring you through. Self-discipline. That is very, very powerful. Now, what is self-discipline? When you're working from home or working for yourself, you rise every day. You have to have a thought process and self-discipline to understand what's your daily routine going to be like. What's your day going to cut out to be? It cannot just get up and work things as an accident, because you're independently working for yourself. So whatever actions you take, that's what's actually going to drive results and drive your profitability. Now, it's the self-discipline piece of it, and even your relationship, your marriage with your partner, no matter what it is, have to have self-discipline. And I always say this: we have marriages today, we have relationships. People operate sometimes within their relationship, and it become an accident. When I say an accident, it's more of we just do as it comes, not thinking, I have to do this for my partner today. You know what? I have to get my partner some flowers today. Or I need to wash my partner's car. Or I need to tell my partner I love them. Or, those things just all comes into self-discipline. Because if you're not disciplining yourself to do those things on a daily basis or do them on a regular, guess what happens? Fall short. So that's a good piece there in self-discipline. Also, another piece, accurate thinking. The power of thought is the most dangerous of the most beneficial, powerful available to men. It's, so powerful, and it all depends on, of course, upon how it's used. So back to that again. How is your thoughts being utilized? How is it? Big question. How is your thoughts being utilized? Did you know that you can actually use your thinking and your thoughts to heal yourself? Do you actually know you can utilize your thoughts and your thinking to de-stress yourself? Do you know you can actually have a shoulder injury, pain in your shoulders? And I'm saying this from experience. Do you know you can have inflammation? Do you know you can have those type of issues, and you can utilize your thought process and think the positive way, and it can end up healing yourself by doing that? And again, I'm speaking from experience. Just think about that. Your thoughts can be utilized so powerful in many different ways. Now, pleasing and personality. Now you may say, what is that? What is that? Pleasing and personality. How is that comes within your thought process? How does that work with thinking? Well, guess what? If you're not working every single day to please yourself and make sure you're working towards pleasing others, working towards helping others, do not make life be about you. So your thought process is not going to get up every day and think about, how am I going to be rich? How am I going to be wealthy? How am I going to have all the money I need in the world? That's not going to get us anywhere. Your thought process, like my thought process every day, is thinking, who am I going to help today to be successful? Who am I going to empower today to change their mindset? Who am I going to help today to get in a better attitude, a better state of mind? Now, guess what happens when you do that? It turns right back to you, and you get blessings trifold. So just to give you a quick one on pleasing personality, the definition of that is the sum total of one's mental, spiritual. Listen how powerful that is. Spiritual. I'm going to leave on this one because this is powerful. Spiritual and physical traits and habits that distinguish one from all others. Your personality is your greatest asset or liability. So I'm going to leave you on that one. Just think about that again, and I'll repeat it again, that you can actually use this as a takeaway. Pleasing personality. All right? Think about this. Is your personality pleasing with your thoughts? I'm going to repeat it because this is powerful. You find we're like this sometimes, a yo-yo. We're floating different areas. We can float because something goes wrong in our life, so automatically we're floating in the wrong direction. But if we start thinking, okay, you know what, everything happens for a reason, now automatically we change the mindset and the structure of where we're going. We take a deep look at our personality, make sure it's pleasing, and I'll repeat that definition again because this is powerful. Pleasing personality is the sum total of one's mental, spiritual, and physical traits and habits that distinguish one from all others. Your personality, your greatest asset or liability. So make that be a takeaway and just start utilizing your thoughts. Make it be powerful, because whether you know it or not, our thoughts can make us wealthy. Wealth doesn't have to mean finances, but it can make us wealthy by bringing us happiness, love, prosperity, and you get up every day and you will love what you're doing. No matter what the changes may be, no matter what goes on, you're automatically going to look and say, you know what, I'm going to think the positive thought of this, what I'm doing now, and I'm going to absolutely love it. So it's about 41 minutes, and I just want to thank you guys for just stopping in. Rob Shepard here. You can connect with me on my blog at shepherdfit.info. And if you have any questions about branding, you're looking to start your business, you're looking to rise with your vision, you got Justin and I here, and we're willing to help you to bring your vision to life. Back to you, Justin.
All right, Rob, that was good stuff, man. I really like that the personality point. And I want to just touch on just a few things, since I realized that I actually touched on the third point already when I was talking about language with the confession and rejection part. You can rewind, go back and check that out again. But this point about being around people that if you're around negative people, in other words, Rob said this, but if you're around negative people, then you can, if people want to live in their misery and you're living in your misery, they'll always accept you, right? But the moment you want to step out and do something bigger, you're always going to be rejected by somebody. So if you're in that place where you're trying to step out and you're trying to live a more positive life, go after what you want to do, be around people that are going to be more supportive and more positive, don't be afraid of that rejection, because you're going to be rejected by some group of people no matter where you go, and that's just what it is. And the only thing that's hard about it is making the change. It's not one way is harder than another. It's just that you have to make the change and you have to create a new comfort zone around it. So that's key. That it's all about, you're going to be accepted by the people who are in your circle of influence, right? So you want to be on the positive side of things, so it's more fun too. And one other point that I love that you made, Rob, was that you can make the decision every day. You wake up, you can make the decision, what am I thinking about? What am I focused on? Do I have a daily plan that I'm going to work towards, because I know it's beneficial to me, it's what I want to do in my life, and how to actually direct your mood, direct what you're thinking about and how you're feeling. And one of the things that I think about a lot is people and where they choose to live. A lot of times we're in a bubble of what we've been exposed to our whole lives, and we have choices of where we go, where we work, what we do, how we make money, like the relationships we're in, and where we live is so commonly people think I grew up here, I'm always going to be here, and they're not thinking I can go find somewhere that's more suitable for me. It's unlikely the place you were born is the best place on earth for you. You might have an attachment to home in some sense, but is there a place out there that's for me, literally my my sense of home in my heart, and the reason I bring this up too is that I recently moved to Florida, and I was walking along. Sometimes I'm just walking, and I find myself smiling, a genuine smile that is just, you can't just put a smile on your face, but you just feel something inside of you that just makes you just oh man, this is so awesome. And that wasn't just because, oh, I'm in Florida, that's how I feel in Florida, and someone else hasn't found that or anything like that. That came through years of just focusing on, how do I be happy without having a reason to be happy. A lot of people say I'm not happy because I have no reason to be. Well, it's you're either finding reasons to be happy or finding reasons to be miserable, right? So it's just, again, that's just the choice, right? You're not naturally miserable. That's not how you were created. You weren't born as a child and you're just miserable. That's not how it works, right? Through your experiences, people you're around, and things you've been exposed to, you've created a state. You've created a mindset around it. So, the sooner you embrace, I have complete control over all this, even though it doesn't seem like that. Maybe my past hasn't been like that, but you can totally reshape your future, and it's just going to take time. You know, it's not going to just be automatic. You know, but it's powerful stuff. So with that, I think we can close out now. Obviously, it's been a little longer than we thought, but you know, we're moving forward. These hopefully we'll do a lot more on mindset coming up. We're going to start to focus, get deeper and deeper into these points. A lot of times we can't get through 3 points and get really detailed. So we might focus a little more and more and more, so that we really give you guys great value. And of course, as always, we love your feedback. And
Oh yeah,
that's it. So
feedback, powerful. We're definitely looking forward to you guys' feedback. And please, I mean, if we find these, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how you guys look at it and feel about it, but you can actually make your comments. Let us know what you think. If you don't say anything, well, silence does nothing. So pretty much, you know, make some comments. I mean, both Justin and I, to be honest with you, we're tough skin. I mean, tell us, you know what? I didn't like the hangout. You guys need to change this. You guys need to change that. I'm okay with it, because all it is going to do is just make us better and make us to help us to bring more value to you guys. We both think these things are very important and very powerful, because simple. You know, I'm gonna go on a little bit more, because I think simple is simple, and we make this thing such a rocket scientist. And honestly, I'm gonna say this simple. If you're in any type of business, whatever you're getting involved with, whatever type of business it is, it's very simple. There's two things. What is it? Get customers. That's it. If you're in network marketing, get customers and help your team to get customers. That's it. So if we didn't think these things was important, we wouldn't have done them, honestly. We'd have just keep being selfish, take what we learn, and just keep it to ourselves and move forward. But we're doing them because we feel that you guys there's some of you out there that was in our position that we used to be in, that we was just so caught up in so much information that we're thinking everyone, oh, this is going on, and everyone wants to have a different guru trick and a method of trick, and we totally forget about the basic. I mean, get customers. That's it. I mean, whatever you do, you get customers. If you become whatever business it is, health coaching, network marketing, the whole value is getting customers. I mean, talk to people, tell them what you do. That's it. Get customers. Simple. So if all it is just believe, have faith, mindset, get it in, and do your thing. So if just comment below, let us know what you think about these hangouts. Let us know if you would like us to bring different form of topic to you. We're open, and we're here. So thank you guys for stopping by. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week, Tuesday. We'll come with some mindset, which that's very powerful. And I'll see you guys next week.
all right, yep. So next week, more on mindset. I'm Justin Messina. You can find me at the website listed below. Rob Shepard, how can people find you?
You can find me at shepherdfit.info, and it's spelled SHEPHERDFIT.info.
All right, that's it. Live Vision Fit. We're out.